That year was the first time Sadie saw Eclipse. Bodhisattva asked her how the young man in front of her appeared. He was the newly promoted Eclipse this time. Sadie's response was full of disdain towards him. He seemed more powerful than the first-generation Eclipse at first glance. But there was a feeling that he wouldn't be able to finish properly. Bodhisattva means that I think your brain has been burnt out by prohibited drugs. You only see the surface. He is not unable to settle things. He is actually enjoying all of this. When he first came here, the first generation of Eclipse took care of all the orphans living with him. Now you take a closer look. The numerous wounds he made with the dagger. Doesn't it look beautiful? It's just like the leaves of a willow tree. No one is more suitable for being Eclipse than him. Although everyone knows that Eclipse has been taken care of by Bodhisattva now. But she is very sure that the police officer in front of her is Eclipse herself. No one else can do this except him. Eclipse viciously stomped on Sadie on the ground. Just tell me where Phoenix is. I can make you die without any pain. However, Sadie would rather be torn apart by 1,000 knives than reveal it. Turns out when Sadie descended from the first-generation Phoenix, Bodhisattva instructed the newly promoted Phoenix to deal with her. But the new generation Phoenix didn't kill her. Instead, Sadie poisoned the Phoenix's cup. The usually mentally fragile Phoenix wants to know why this happened. I spared your life. Why did you want to kill me? Don't you like me? Sadie replied. How could I possibly like you? This sentence completely crushed Phoenix. Why does everyone hate me so much? Once because of my weakness, they all wanted to kill me. So I worked hard to become stronger and successfully rose to the top. Now, they hate me again because I eat prohibited drugs. But you probably don't hate me, because what we do is the same. Otherwise, I'll drink this. From now on, you have to like me all the time. Later, Phoenix actually drank the poisoned wine in front of him. Although her 7 orifices began to bleed, her eyes were filled with anticipation. She hoped Sadie could truly like her. At this moment, Sadie realized that she and Phoenix were like both poor souls striving to survive. Watching Phoenix crying in her arms like a child, she felt love for the first time. The first person I fell in love with. How could I possibly push her towards death? Eclipse did not expect this kind of feeling between them. He decisively slit her throat to give her a swift death. The remaining information should be obtained by asking others. At this moment, Sadie managed to say with her last breath, she will definitely come here. I caused all the children's matters myself. So I beg you not to kill Phoenix, as she said. Phoenix is rushing here at high speed. Eclipse's response to her will depend on how she behaves. Just as the burly man was about to tear the 3 of them apart. Fortunately, Eclipse appeared in time to save them. He did not expect that even the SWAT team could not handle a severely injured person. It seems that he had overestimated them. At this moment, the burly man took the opportunity to swing his fist towards him while he was not paying attention. The sound of bones shattering instantly echoed throughout the entire room. Eclipse joked, "That must have been painful." Then he looked at the 3 people and said, "You guys go bring those kids. I'll wrap things up with this guy, and then we'll regroup right away." However, Burly Man picked up 2 hostages from the ground as his shield. "If you have the guts, then shoot." Eclipse did not hesitate and pulled the trigger directly. The bullet precisely passed through that tiny gap and hit Burly Man's shoulder. Eclipse advised him to calm down. "I don't want your life right now, because all the people in your group are dead. You must stay alive to provide me with information." Burly Man completely went crazy after hearing that. He recklessly rushed towards Eclipse regardless of his own life. Eclipse shot several bullets at his thighs, making him lose mobility. Then he asked Skylar to report to headquarters that the mission was over. He thought this operation would be easy to handle. Unexpectedly, it caused such heavy losses to the SWAT team. He had high expectations for Natalia. At least she should be better than the trio. However, it was completely useless. At this moment, Skylar unexpectedly turned to him and asked for help to tie up the burly man because they couldn't restrain him at all. Eclipse was completely speechless. You guys better not be policemen. Suddenly, a motorcycle sped in. Eclipse instantly stepped back to avoid the impact. Then he raised his gun and began to aim. At this time, the motorcycle changed direction and did a dragon tail whip. Eclipse was directly sent flying by the rear wheel. When the person arrived and took off the helmet, it was the crazy woman, second-generation Phoenix, who said to Burly Man, "Bring everyone over with me. I came late because I was looking for an escape route. When I heard Burly Man say that everyone except him had died." Phoenix's face was full of disbelief. Eclipse stood up and added, "Don't doubt that you heard wrong. They are all dead." Phoenix angrily reached into his chest and pulled out 4 blue prohibited drugs pills. "I swear I will definitely kill you," Eclipse provocatively said. "Oh, I'm so scared." When Eclipse was young, due to his rebellious nature, he often received punishment from Bodhisattva. The always neglected Phoenix then ran over to care and comfort him, hoping to garner Eclipse's attention. Although Eclipse was disobedient, his strength was among the top in the assassin group. Therefore, Bodhisattva decided that Eclipse would be in charge of evaluating others' performance in the future. Phoenix flattered, saying how envious he was of his brother. Not only was Eclipse heavily utilized, but he also had his own name. Eclipse is so cool indeed. I wonder when I will have my own name. However, I heard that the relationships among everyone are not very good. If one day I could also have my own name. Can we continue to be this close? You must promise me. At this moment, Phoenix threw the blue pill in their hand. At the moment of touching the fingertips, immediately exploded, producing blue smoke. This smoke not only can obscure vision, like a smoke bomb, but also make those who inhale it move sluggishly. Eclipse narrowly avoided Phoenix's motorcycle collision. Phoenix turned around to mock him for being a coward who only knows how to run away. But Eclipse wasn't buying it. He spread his legs and rushed up the stairs. "Do you think I can't chase you once you're on the 2nd floor?" He fled. She pursued. But Phoenix found it somewhat difficult to fly away with all her subordinates lying dead on the ground. Eclipse provocatively said, "Come on over." Phoenix clenched the brakes and revved the throttle to the maximum. Then she perfectly dodged everyone. But at this moment, the police in front of her had disappeared without a trace. It turned out that Eclipse had hidden on the ceiling while she was driving. With a "Nice driving skills," Phoenix's neck was instantly tightly locked. Her body was also immobilized by Eclipse's legs. She reached for the throttle. She tried to accelerate to shake off Eclipse. However, Eclipse loosened her legs because Phoenix was not wearing a safety helmet. Even if they both fall, Phoenix is more likely to get injured. Eclipse's butt is going to hurt so much. He swore he would never do this again. Phoenix, on the other hand, was even worse. With her face covered in blood, she yelled fiercely, "Who are you really? Everything went awry because of your appearance. Eclipse said you used to be very obedient when you were young. How come you're blaming me now?" Phoenix naturally didn't understand what he was saying. "Who are you really?" "Eclipse." "I am Eclipse." Phoenix finally calmed down. "What nonsense are you talking about? Eclipse suggests you turn yourself in now. I was originally planning to eliminate you. But you are in charge of the financial system of Bodhisattva. Therefore, you have the transaction records that the police need. They asked me to let you off for now. As long as you turn yourself in and expose the true face of that monk, I promise to spare your life." Phoenix suddenly burst into crazy laughter. "Eclipse, my brother, even has a disciple. And it turns out to be a police officer. You know better than anyone whether I have a disciple. You have conducted a lot of investigations on me. You have been assigning people to track me every time I go on a mission. Don't think I don't know. At HG Temple, it seems like we're the only ones who dislike that monk. Why are you protecting him?" Phoenix snapped at me to shut up. "Eclipse, my brother, is already dead. The Bodhisattva pointed to your body as a warning to me. The same fate awaits you if you don't obey. Also, Eclipse, my brother, seems to have not told you, his disciple, something. That's because the person I hate the most is actually Eclipse, my brother, rather than the Bodhisattva. Phoenix's face was covered in plaster, getting ready to fight desperately against Eclipse. Eclipse kicked her in the stomach. Unexpectedly, there were blue pills hidden inside her clothes. The field instantly exploded, releasing a strong toxic gas. Phoenix, who inhaled it, felt extremely excited. Not only did her strength and speed increase significantly, but her waist no longer hurt, her legs were no longer sore, and she had more energy when walking. Eclipse was suddenly no match for her. The ethereal feeling made Phoenix extremely happy. Her mood also reached an unprecedented level of joy. However, soon her vision became extremely distorted. Prohibited drugs are ultimately harmful to both others and oneself. Phoenix, deprived of the support of the medicinal power, became extremely weak. The whole body seemed to have been hollowed out. At this moment, she found Eclipse standing there, surprisingly unscathed. It turns out that everything that just happened was an illusion caused by prohibited drugs. It not only won't change reality, it will get worse instead. But Phoenix has lost herself. She clearly remembers that she has already won. This cannot be reality. I need to take more medication. This is when a sentence from Eclipse brought her back to reality. Phoenix, it's really ugly. Stop it now. Phoenix couldn't accept that someone called her ugly. She took out a stack of plaster and went crazy, rushing up. Eclipse flicked her plaster away. The irrational Phoenix was just about to take the exam. Eclipse raised his fist high and smashed it hard against her head. Hurry up and turn yourself in. Don't show such an ugly face anymore. The intense pain finally woke Phoenix up. Hearing Eclipse asking her to turn herself in, she said she'd rather be killed. I'm more afraid of the punishment from Bodhisattva than death. Eclipse explained that Sadie asked me not to kill you. Phoenix said that if you are really Eclipse's brother, then you wouldn't kill Sadie. She knows as much information as I do. That's because Sadie went after the kids. You seem to react like you don't even know that. Luckily you're uninformed. Otherwise, I would have killed you right away along with them. You don't have to be so scared of that monk. Because my next target is him. Phoenix was taken aback at first, then couldn't help but burst into laughter. You actually want to kill Bodhisattva. Eclipse's brother was also killed by Bodhisattva. Do you think you can kill him with your abilities? I have endured inhuman abuse and training since I was a child. As a result, the wounds on my body have already penetrated to the bone marrow. Although this can make me quickly become stronger. But the body is ultimately a consumable item. Injuries will accumulate. In the end, during a sweep mission, my body completely broke down. I suffered serious injuries that time. You should remember that very clearly. But the body I have now is different. As a cop, it has strong physical fitness. It has never been abused in my childhood. Therefore, the internal structure is also very good. I'll get familiar with this body again. And if I train well, I am sure I can deeply shock the heart of Monk Phoenix. Are you really Eclipse's brother? Of course, it's no mistake. You decide for yourself. Either surrender or die here. Meanwhile, 3 people are waiting for the rescue team to arrive. Skylar noticed that the burly man was bleeding heavily, so they decided to give him first aid. The burly man threatened that he would kill anyone who dared to touch him. However, Skylar still chose to bandage his wound. But suddenly, the burly man's gaze shifted to the side. Then, trembling all over, he asked Skylar to take out the plaster and help him apply it. Skylar remained unmoved. He shouted loudly, "Hurry up! Quickly apply it to me! That is a prohibited drug. Why should I apply it for you?" 2 strange people appeared at the door at this moment. You are right. Drugs like prohibited drugs. Only the weak deal with garbage. These 2 men are the branch brothers under Bodhisattva. They mocked burly man Matthew, saying, "How did you become this ghostly figure now? Your thick, strong arms have almost been ground into needles." We sent you to take out that prohibited drugs dealer before. Have you forgotten your mission? Before touching the prohibited drugs, Matthew was also a muscular man just like them. He was ordered to come and deal with Phoenix. However, after seeing Phoenix for the first time, he was deeply captivated. Phoenix said, rather than killing me, I have something that can make you feel even better. Do you want to come and enjoy it with me? Branch brother's most hated thing is women. Second brother cursed. You brat! How could you be deceived by a woman into this ghostly appearance? I've told you countless times to stay away from women. At this moment, big brother corrected. Women are not the problem. The problem is that woman is a prohibited drug trafficker. Second brother retorted. How can women not be a problem? They are too rubbish. They simply don't train their upper body. Big brother said that their legs and buttocks are trained very well. Matthew asked why they are here. The Branch brothers replied that they are here to kill that prohibited drugs dealer. Where is that woman now? At this moment, Eclipse is carrying the injured Phoenix because she has agreed to go turn herself in. Phoenix said, you carrying me like this reminds me of the past. Do you remember when we first met? At that time, Bodhisattva brought Phoenix to Eclipse. She was the only child who passed the test this time. You two will be partners in future activities. Please guide her more. However, Eclipse soon discovered Phoenix's secret. With such weak abilities, she could not have possibly passed the test. Phoenix confessed. I was hiding in a pile of corpses at that time. When I opened my eyes again, I was the only one left alive. Please, do not tell Bodhisattva about this. As long as you order, I am willing to do anything. I just want to stay alive. Seeing Phoenix's strong will to survive, Eclipse promised her not to tell anyone. Because when I passed the test, I had already made up my mind. I will never let my partner lose their life. Phoenix suddenly extended his pinky finger. Can you keep this promise? My mother said as long as you hook fingers, you should keep your promise. Can you hook fingers with me? However, Bodhisattva still got wind of this. Afterward, Phoenix had a painful experience of being poisoned. This made her completely turn into a monster who survived on prohibited drugs. Phoenix said, I know you can't keep the agreement. How could you survive while taking care of me in that kind of place? The person I should hate the most is clearly him. But for some reason, I started to dislike you. At this time, Eclipse said that it seems like you've got it wrong. I said that I won't let my partner die. I have never broken this agreement. Don't you know why you didn't die that day? On the other side, the Branch brothers were reprimanding Matthew for becoming so weak. Skylar quickly shouted to stop them. The two raised their shields and charged forward. At that moment, another muscular man stood in front of them. One kick from the muscular thighs sent the two flying out. Don't rush. It will be your turn after we deal with the traitors. Matthew took out a plaster ready to strike back. The second brother said disappointingly, I used to value you so much. I didn't expect you to end up using medicine after all. Go ahead and apply it. Let me see what benefits taking shortcuts will bring you. Matthew put the plaster on his neck. I am not afraid of any harm that medicine may bring. I am afraid only of disappointing Phoenix. However, the next second Matthew was directly punched in the head and exploded. Your shortcut is really rubbish. Now it's time for you police officers. The Branch brothers' faces suddenly became unusually excited. I almost missed it. Take a closer look. There are a few people in here who look pretty delicious. The perverse hobby of the Branch brothers is actually eating people. And second brother never likes to eat women. Although these police officers wear a lot of clothes, but he saw at a glance that their bodies were very strong. Second brother pointed to Dylan and asked, What sports have you done? Boxing. For how many years? Over 10 years. Skylar cursed in a hurry. Are you a fool? Why do you answer everything? Second brother clapped in approval. Your body is great. I really like it. He then turned to ask Luca Skylar, who hurriedly shouted not to answer. What are you saying to these two lunatics? At this time, Big Brother seems to have discovered new prey. Upon closer inspection, that woman is also super amazing. Skylar quickly expressed that it's not true. However, the person he mentioned is Swat Natalia, and then Big Brother instantly rushed towards her. Skylar wanted to stop him. She then found out that Dylan was also being pinned down by that maniac. The Branch brothers simultaneously put on blindfolds and opened their big mouths. Next, I am going to start enjoying slowly. On the other side, when Phoenix heard Eclipse say that the reason he didn't die was because of him, she expressed that it was actually because I have immunity to the medicine. Eclipse explained that they reached a conclusion when I was training you. That is, you don't have any talent for fighting at all. No matter how I train you, you will eventually be abandoned by that monk. Until one day the previous Eclipse found me. He said he had a way to save that little girl, because he knew what the execution drug was made of. As long as she slowly absorbs from now on, she will be able to survive after developing immunity. That's how 2 generations of Eclipse conducted transactions privately. Later, Eclipse often brought food laced with poison for Phoenix to eat, to help her body develop resistance to the poison. So she managed to escape death from that monk. However, Phoenix did not believe this. Eclipse said, "Do you remember when you suddenly had an allergic reaction as a child? That was a side effect of the process of developing immunity." Phoenix asked, "Then why didn't you tell me earlier? If you had told me, we could have been in serious danger if you accidentally let it slip." When that monk learned that your immunity was stronger than the first-generation Phoenix, he intended to cultivate you into the second-generation Phoenix by using more toxic drugs. So I planned to find an opportunity to get you out of here. However, when I went to your room, I found prohibited drugs all over the floor. You, who have just used drugs, said that this place is heaven. There is no better place than this. Then you opened your arms and said, "Why don't we do something fun together?" After being changed by drugs, Phoenix seemed like a different person. Eclipse began to regret. It would have been better to just let her die back then. At this point, Phoenix asked why he didn't escape himself that day. Eclipse said he didn't know. Suddenly, a scream came from outside. Phoenix immediately recognized it as Matthew's voice. She shouted loudly, "Matthew, stop!" However, the next second, the 2 of them were stunned by the scene in front of them. The Branch brothers were tearing at Natalia and Dylan like hunting dogs. The 2, blindfolded, had their mouths covered in blood and flesh. Obviously, they had completely lost their humanity. The exceptionally muscular Branch brothers were actually skinny when they were young. One brother had congenital atrophy in his lower limbs, while the other had weakness in his upper limbs. It was because of these physical defects that Old Monk chose to abandon them. All children who failed the test were locked in a room and left to starve to death. However, the 2 brothers were not willing to die such a tragic death, so they made up their minds to change their fate through their own efforts. They exercised intensively every day. Other children became the brothers' source of nutrition. Several months later, when Old Monk came to clean up the bodies, he unexpectedly found that these 2 brothers had survived, and they had even overcome their congenital physical disabilities. The younger brother, who had weak upper limbs when he grew up, now had strong and muscular arms. The older brother, whose lower limbs had atrophied, developed thighs as strong and muscular as an elephant's. At this time, Eclipse had already arrived outside with Phoenix on her back. When she saw her subordinate Matthew lying in a pool of blood, Phoenix immediately became extremely angry. Branch brothers said, "Finally you showed up. I hate people like you who rely on drugs to become stronger. Clearly, you have a terrible physical condition. Eclipse is already dead. Soon, you will be taken down by us as well." Now only Crane in January, Sakura in March, and Mountain in August are left. Facing these 2 brothers, Eclipse is also very headache-inducing. Dealing with one of them is already very difficult. It just had to be these 2. Luckily, Skylar has already requested backup. The backup will arrive within 10 minutes. Eclipse released Phoenix. He can easily hold them up for 10 minutes. Suddenly, his vision began to distort. Little did he know it was when he carried Phoenix. Her blood seeped through his skin, causing a reaction. Eclipse didn't want to carry her at first, but Phoenix insisted that if he didn't carry her, she wouldn't leave. At that moment, Black Branch pounced like a fierce black bear. He wanted to use his strong arms to crush Eclipse's head. Eclipse knew he couldn't directly compete with his upper body strength, so he decided to try to bring him down by attacking his lower body. However, he did not inflict any substantial damage on Black Branch. "Just with your little strength, you think you can knock me down?" Eclipse sarcastically remarked that your body does seem to have become stronger, but your actions are as sluggish as a turtle. This makes Black Branch a little puzzled. "Do you know me? Who are you, after all?" Under the effect of the medicine, Eclipse's strength is gradually diminishing. He instructed Skylar to lead the team members in a retreat first. Then he ordered Phoenix to leave with the police. However, White Branch blocked the door. "Nobody is leaving today." Eclipse initiated the attack first. One of them must be taken care of quickly. Black Branch swung his strong arms to meet him. Eclipse easily dodged the attack. Then he prepared to strike his abdomen. Unexpectedly, Black Branch swiftly turned around and launched a left elbow strike. The muscular wind generated by the blow cut across Eclipse's cheek. Phoenix realized that if this continued, Eclipse would definitely be caught. "I have been holding him back since childhood. This time, I can't bring him down anymore." Phoenix took out a bottle of medicine from her arms. "This is the last time I will ever use prohibited drugs in my life." Eclipse's movements are becoming slower and slower. Black Branch expressed regret over the waste of such a good body. "Getting involved with drugs even made me unable to eat. This time I'll leave you with a complete corpse." At a critical moment, Phoenix rushed forward to block the attack. "I'm sorry. I may not be able to turn myself in. This time, let me protect you." In order to protect Eclipse, Phoenix may really die this time. The medicine refined by the previous Phoenix is divided into 2 grades. And the current Phoenix has upgraded a medicine called Light based on the original one. Applying these things not only brings strong pleasure to people, but also greatly improves physical fitness. However, the side effects after the drug's effect wears off will also increase with the level. The most powerful effect among them is that even Sadie will be on the brink of life and death after applying it. However, there is another level of effect even stronger than Light, that not even Monk knows about. One day, Phoenix subjected Light to a long period of extreme concentration and refinement. In the end, she obtained a bottle of concentrated liquid. Phoenix named it the Terra Phoenix, and planned to drink it at the most crucial moment. Even though separated by tempered glass, Phoenix could feel it clearly. As long as she drinks this thing, when she wakes up, that place will surely become a living hell. Angry Black Branch said, "Let go of your dirty hands." However, he was punched by Phoenix. The immense power made Black Branch feel unbelievable. At this moment, he realized that his hands were tainted with prohibited drugs. Black Branch, who has always detested drugs, completely lost control. "You trash drug dealer. How dare you leave this dirty stuff on my clean body?" Phoenix was whispering something with Eclipse secretly. Black Branch asked what you two were talking about. Phoenix deliberately provoked him. He deserves to be a drug dealer. Even though the effects of the drugs have taken hold, he can still hold on for so long. Black Branch pounded his chest and said, "Take back those words. I am clearly relying on willpower to hold on." He then quickly rushed towards Phoenix. He delivered a straight punch right into her abdomen. "I rely completely on myself. Go die quickly, you filthy drug dealer." Phoenix lowered its head and kept chewing on something. Suddenly, she spit out a mouthful of blood. Fresh blood instantly blinded Black Branch's eyes. Phoenix seized the opportunity to launch a counterattack. She tightly locked Black Branch's neck with her legs. Both of them fell to the ground at the same time. Shortly after, Phoenix shouted at Skylar. "Hurry up and take your people away from here." Although the two of them were a bit puzzled as to why this person suddenly helped us. "But the most important thing now is to take the wounded and the children away from here." However, White Branch is blocking the doorway. "Didn't I say that no one can leave?" Of course, with the strength of the three people, they are no match for him. At this moment, Skylar suddenly noticed there were several plasters under her feet. An audacious plan instantly popped into her mind. While Black Branch struggled, he could not escape from Phoenix's restraints. He could only seek help from Big Brother. He said, "Hold on a little longer. Let me take care of these police officers first." While Skylar took the opportunity to pick up plaster and stick it on her own face. Even White Branch was speechless. The police actually used prohibited drugs, and suddenly Skylar's figure flashed past. A plaster firmly stuck to his thigh. This instantly made him furious. He went crazy scratching the plaster, trying to remove it from his body. Three of them seized the chance to carry the child and Eclipse on their backs as they ran outside. Eclipse gradually lost consciousness. He mustered up the last of his strength to look back. He faintly felt like Phoenix was saying goodbye to him. In the continuous struggle, Black Branch finally broke Phoenix's leg. His muscular arm pushed the thigh and viciously smashed it backwards. On the other side, White Branch finally tore off the plaster from his leg. He swore to tear the policeman into pieces, just as he was about to chase outside. Suddenly, an explosion produced a large amount of blue smoke. "You all stay here with me. Let's settle this once and for all. This is the last time I'll take this drug. So let's die together. After all, we are all drug dealers." I just casually opened the curtains. It caused panic throughout the Dragon Kingdom. Shortly after, it spread worldwide. Countries around the world went crazy over my action. Just because I am currently in a world of bizarre rules. Here, breaking a rule would mean instant death. And the first rule in this world is that you cannot open the curtains. It's the year 2055. The entire Earth is shrouded in tales of bizarre rules. The world of rules randomly selects challengers from various countries. Successfully completing the challenge will bring huge rewards to the entire nation. On the contrary, if a country is punished by the rules, it will face immeasurable disasters. And my country, the Dragon Kingdom, has suffered 5 consecutive failures, resulting in a large number of casualties. This time I, who is 18 years old, was randomly selected. But I have no experience, and I am not optimistic about it at all. You must be a trash day for sure. But what they don't know is that they will soon be slapped in the face. Turns out, the first selected person entering the world of weird tales will be eligible for talent draw. And what I drew turned out to be the one-of-a-kind SSS grade mysterious talent natural contrarian. In the world of weird tales, ignoring rules of right and wrong, direct rebellion will not be affected by any mysterious contamination. This is completely tailored for me. We won't be sneaky or underhanded in our development. But when it comes to the level of rebellion, that's definitely an easy question. I immediately sat up and observed my surroundings when I relaxed. The strange world I entered this time is called Mom's Note. I need to judge the correctness of the information on the note myself to get through the tests in the next few days. Rule 1. The bathroom can be used, but remember never to open the curtains whether it's day or night. Rule 2. There is frozen beef in the fridge. It's best to eat it raw. Do not cook it fully. Rule 3. The bathroom must never have the light turned on. Rule 4. The clock in the house will tell you the time, but never use it as an alarm clock. Rule 5. Never open the door, even if someone knocks. Take care of the house cat, but do not give it a name. Rule 7. Feed the cat noodles, never give it cat food. Rule 8. Sleep with the cat next to you at night. Rule 9. If the neighbor visits, give them cat food as a gift. Rule 10. Avoid watching television. After just reading the rules, I quickly walked to the window, and then defiantly pulled open the curtains. Now I am determined to be rebellious. Seeing this scene, People outside watching the live broadcast also became puzzled. Could it be that Rule 1 is fake? And many more people from Dragon Kingdom are excited about my performance. To accurately judge the correctness of the rules so quickly. It's nothing like the first time entering the world of monster rumors. Dragon Kingdom is saved. At the same time, countries around the world have quickly sent hints to their selected ones. They are telling them that the first rule is wrong. The chosen one from the Eastern Island country, upon hearing the news, is determined not to lose to me. He immediately drew open the curtains. However, just as he was basking in the sunlight with a look of enjoyment on his face, a wave of strange contamination struck in an instant. Fortunately, the talent he drew can resist 3 invasions. Otherwise, this guy would have the grass on his grave a yard high by now. But the selected ones from other small countries were not so lucky. This also made the remaining participants more cautious. An hour passed, and nothing happened again. I got so bored and even a little hungry. Later, I got up and walked to the front of the refrigerator. The caption recognition failed, huh? But the clearance time is 7 days. So, 5 beef patties are clearly not enough to eat. So, unwilling to go hungry, I reached out for noodles. And this move of mine once again shocked everyone outside. Because Rule 7 is clearly written. Noodles are meant to be left for the cats to eat. This cat is about to mutate. Just because I fed it cat food instead of noodles.